Hello, everybody, and welcome into Fayetteville Public Utilities Studio. We are here again, ready for our monthly update with our CEO, General Manager Britt. Britt, good morning.
Good morning, Don.
Let's talk about broadband. We usually start out with that. Talk about the broadband grant that's going on the east side of Lincoln County.
Well, right now we're expanding in the north and the northeast part of the county and circling back around to a little bit further southeast of the county, as the fiber becomes available. But right now we're still waiting on material and supplies, and, when we get the right material in, we'll be building in some other areas in the north and northeast part of the county.
When you think about the whole east side of Lincoln County, there's a lot of area over there, a lot of rural area, and there's just a lot of area, period, and you got to build all that trunk line. I'm sure it requires a lot of material to come in.
That's correct, and that's what we'll be doing first, is building the trunk line before we ever come back and take taps off to the homes.
Yep. All right. Last week I had the opportunity to go to Nashville with you. I know it's a big day for you. The Tennessee Line Workers Appreciation Day has been made official. We were there for that with a lot of other linemen around the state, and that's something you've been working toward for a long time.
Yeah, we worked really hard on getting that done, and the legislation finally passed it, and we had some help as well from State Representative Pat Marsh. He helped us along, and Senator Reeves too, and it really helped out a lot, and we really appreciate getting that done. So now the second Monday of April is actually made into law for Linemen's Appreciation Day.
Yep, linemen workers across the state, including our guys, were there and at Capitol Hill, and I know that makes you proud, and that's something that is really good for Lincoln County. I think last year, or not for Lincoln County or Fayetteville, but for our linemen, but last year you worked on something to help get first responders, get linemen considered as first responders.
We did, and they're still classified a little bit different than actually a first responder. We still get the protection, but we still haven't got the actual first responder classification, I guess you can say.
Well, most people don't realize when there's a car accident or a house fire, 911, of course, contacts fire and police, but they also contact us and directly. We have a direct line here, and a lot of people might not realize that, and we're the next person that they contact because your crews have to be heading that way because you never know what's in store.
That's true. We get a lot of those calls, and there's lots of times we're the first ones on the scene as well, and we're able to help as much as anybody else that responds to the call. So we're proud to be able to do that.
Yeah. Natural gas. April is natural gas safe, or National Safe Digging Month. A lot of digging going on. It seems like even on my street, there's people digging in the ditches and things like that. So I want to remind people to call 811 at least 3 days before you dig. I don't know if you see those reports, but I'm sure we have a lot of people call those in.
We do. We have a lot of tags that come in, to get locations done, and be sure to to call in because it could be very costly to you if you don't call in.
You just don't know. You might think there's nothing underground there at a mailbox or at a post you're trying to put a fence in, but 10, 15 years, even 4 or 5 years, how soon we forget,
Well, and, you have trouble when people move in and they're not used to the area, and then they don't know to call sometimes, and they don't have any idea what's underground. So it's always best to call, whether if you need us to locate or not.
And coming up in May, this next month, which is right around the corner, is Electrical Safety Month, and that's something you preach around here every day is safety. But over your years of being a lineman and that kind of thing, you also have seen things happen from kites to balloons to all kind of things I'm sure you've seen in power lines.
Well, yeah, especially when the wind's blowing like it has been the last few days, but you always need to be sure what's around you when you get ready to do anything, whether if you're carrying a ladder or working on your roof or your satellite or your antennas or anything like that.
Seems like when you're Fayetteville Public Utilities and you've got electricity, you've got natural gas, water, and sewer, there's a week for you about every month. Now we're looking at Drinking Water Week. It's coming up May 7th through the 13th. And drinking water, having good, safe drinking water is something that is very important.
That it is, and it takes a lot of learning to be able to do that, to know how to treat the water of any situation that might, you're getting water out of the river most all the time, and you have to be sure everything's treated correctly and safe. And we got the water contest tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, wow. And the water contest is where they actually taste the water, kind of blind taste. Is that correct? You don't know where it comes from?
We win a few times, but I don't know how they turn out tomorrow. But we'll see what happens.
Well, we have very good water, and we're very blessed in our community to get water out of the Elk River and clean it up as good as it is. I mean, no matter how dingy or dirty it is, we can make it crystal clear drinking water, and that's a blessing to have that much water. Now, a lot of communities, as you know, are pulling from wells or maybe from an area that's not as good as the Elk River.
That's correct, and it's like I said, it's a lot of teaching that goes into place. When you get ready to treat water, and the folks we got at the water plant do an exceptional job on how they treat waters to be sure that it is safe and high quality drinking water.
And since you have been CEO, we've had the old water plant where it was a different kind of filtration system than we have today, which is the membrane filter system, which is even cleaner, clearer, better water for sure.
That's correct. And, they've been in place now for about 11 years, I think, and it won't be long. We'll be changing all those filters out and as needed.
Seemed like it was just yesterday. It was a brand new building. Now we're 11 years out. So still, it's a good program. And one thing, when we built that, when y'all were working on putting that together, you think for the future. It's based on the fact of it can handle today, but it's actually designed to handle what could be in store for tomorrow as well.
Absolutely. What we call them is trains of membranes, and you can pump right at 2 million of filtering today, and you can get up to 6, and then there's another stage train you can get up to 8. So we're prepared as far as being able to filter water up to 8 million gallons.
And when you have industry come in here, those are the questions they want to know. How much water can they use? How much electricity can they get? Natural gas and also sewer is important as well. So another thing that we mentioned right off the top of the show was broadband. Everybody's got to have a good connection. We have it all here, and that helps getting the information to industry and things like that. They're going to get all the information they need from us.
Right.
Yep. So that's good. All right, let's move on to the TVA STEM grants. FBU's honored to work with TVA and the Bicentennial Volunteers Incorporated and the Retired Association Program to award Fayetteville High School a $5,000 grant to develop the science, technology, and engineering and math education projects. And also we did it with Ling County High School. At Ling County, we got to see what they were doing with this mobile lab. And so it's really interesting to see what the schools are doing, and it's good, I'm sure, from your standpoint, to be able to help them.
Yeah, we're very proud to be part of that. And, I'm really interested in this mobile lab that Lincoln County High School is putting together. I can't wait till they get through with that and see actually what it's all going to do. So very interesting.
It's kind of gives me the impression of our safety trailers, something you can take people to where they can see, feel, and touch things, and especially these younger kids from the other schools. So hopefully we'll get to see that when it gets completed. They're working on that now, and this money that we were able to give both the schools helps them in that area for sure.
Yes.
The writing contest, we just finished that with all 3 of the schools, and 3 students have been named as 2023 Washington Youth Tour Writing Contest, and I know that's exciting. We've been working on that. I'm going to try to say these names. The winners from Fayetteville High School was Maria Cruz Solis, and then at Ling County High School was Samantha Cagle, and then at Riverside Christian Academy was Georgiana Atkins. I can't believe I said that right there, Britt, but I thought I needed to say that. So in June, they'll be going to D.C., Washington, D.C., with a youth tour, and that's sponsored by us. And we have a lot of youth programs, and I know you're proud of the things we do with the youth.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting trip for them, be a good experience. And this is the first time that we've gone back to Washington, D.C. in the last few years since the pandemic outbreak. So I'm looking forward to them getting to go and experience it too.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true. Things have changed a lot over the last few years, but we're trying to get back into some kind of normalcy safely for sure. Another program that you started, I think, in 2010, this is probably our 13th year, is the Student Utility Board. This year we've had a great group of students.
Yeah, they all been great, and it's exciting to see these students come through of what we can try to teach them. It's a short period, but I think after the first of the year or the next year that we're going to get the kids longer, so they can spend time, with each department a little bit longer, so they can learn more. But we're really excited about it. Matter of fact, I got a speaking engagement Thursday about it with new managers coming on board for the co-ops and the municipality. So I look forward to that as well.
Very good, and I can see that other utilities around the nation actually would be to take on this kind of program, because we've actually seen it to actually bring in employees here. That's a good thing. Yeah,
and it's not everybody's made to go to college, but we can teach and learn, and we send people off to classes and to learn the trade that we're in, and it turns out very well.
Yeah, and at least you're bringing up, at least in our case, we have 7 of those, and we're actually teaching them what we do, and so a lot of times out in the world that people have misunderstandings of what we do. So it's good that we show them an inside track of what we do here, and a lot of people don't have that opportunity to do that. So anyway, each year we have 3 students from Lincoln County High School, 3 students from Fayetteville City, and then we have 1 from Riverside Christian Academy that participates on the board. And the deadline for that application is through April 28th. So you can get your junior, going to be a senior, to sign up for that. And this year our awards day is coming up on May 4th. So this year's wrapping up. They just got through getting to see the sewer plant, and it's amazing to see these young people with their eyes wide open to just absorbing all the things that we do. And each month they take on they go through different departments, and it just makes you feel good to have somebody who's that interested in what we do.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's like I said, if they're not ever exposed to it, they'll never know. And we hope maybe with some of these students that go through the learning classes that we offer, and then go home and share it with your family, so they'll have a better idea of what FPU does.
And you're always looking at in your brain of thinking about recruiting. As you see a good person or a good employee, possible employee, as we are getting older, we have more and more people who are getting ready to retire. So you got to be constantly bringing somebody back up.
Yeah, and then we're studying the strategic plan right now that we've been going through, and when you start looking at the ones that's eligible to retire, it doesn't mean they're going to retire, but they're eligible to retire. And when you're talking about 25 and 30 years of experience and knowledge that walks out the door, you got to have people in place already training them to be able to do some of those functions of that job. But we all learn every day, and even the length of time that a lot of us have been here, we're still learning every day, because the electric side of the business has become very, very, very complex. And it keeps you busy all the time. And when you're dealing with NERC and FERC and these new electric vehicles and battery storage and all those kinds of things, it's a lot more complex than what it used to be.
Well, you mentioned earlier when we were talking about the water department, and you're talking about the sewer as well, they have a lot of training they have to do to get the certification of, I think, grade 4, what you're looking at. But let's talk about linemen. How long does it take if you had a young person coming out of school wants to be a lineman? How long does it take for them to be able to be a full-fledged lineman?
Well, if you're a journeyman, it takes you about 9 years to top out as a journeyman lineman. And, it's like I said, you keep learning. Just because you top out as a journeyman, you don't know everything about line work.
That's right. And
it's like I said earlier, you can be here 20, 25 years, but you learn something different about line work every day. Same thing you do with the water and wastewater, and especially with the telecom, and the internet and those kinds of things, and natural gas. You keep continuously learning, because things change every day.
Yeah, we talk about the dangers of linemen, and we sometimes don't mention gas, but there's definitely dangers there as well. And then the complexity and the amount of stuff you have to know to actually splice fiber, as me and you have seen that many times. That is a very complicated process, and it's not something just anybody can do.
That's correct. And when you splice some fiber with that little pieces of glass, you'd be good if you could see it.
That's true.
To splice it the way it needs to be done and depend on it, that weather conditions doesn't make a change in how the splice was actually made. So.
Oh, yeah. Some people, as we all take the lights and the fiber and everything for granted. The thing is, it is a very complicated process, and we appreciate those who know how to do it and stay up to par on how to do these things. And usually they're not working in the best conditions in the world. We know during Christmas you had guys working in a water leak in extremely, extremely cold temperatures where they were actually in the water, and that was the only way they could fix the problem.
Yeah, they're pretty tough. They all out there working in those kind of weather conditions. You got to be pretty tough, but you got to be dedicated, and our employees are very dedicated, and they'll do whatever they got to do to get the services back up and running.
Well, I appreciate what they do. I appreciate what you do, and I want to mention here that we're going to be closed on Monday, May 30th. That's Memorial Day. That's a good while away, but it seems like every time we have this show, seemed like last month was just yesterday, and I can't believe it's time for us to talk again. So we'll be in that same boat between now and then. So that'll be coming up. And if you have a water, any kind of outage or problem, you can call us. We're here 24 hours a day. We have the dispatchers available. Even during holidays, during the weekends, 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, somebody's here to take a call. And you can't say that for everybody, all the people that we deal with. And we have somebody here, and that's something I'm proud of. And also you can look on Smart Hub if you need more information about if you want to know about your outage, or you can even report an outage there as well. So, all right, Britt, anything else before we go today?
No, I don't have a whole lot. I know that we're very busy. We're going through our budget process right now to be sure that, we're in good shape to start the new fiscal year that begins July 1. And got several meetings to come up, and we got to cover and be sure that, we're moving in the right direction. And takes a lot of thought in that. But, I can't thank the employees enough for the job they do. And I always appreciate the customers being patient with us to, get their services restored. So.
Well, budgets are tough. They're bound to be tough because, even as the consumer goes to the grocery store or goes to wherever they do to buy their shopping, everything has gone up. You see that in the utility industry as well, probably tenfold to that.
Yeah, well, also mentioning materials and supplies has not gotten any better. So, if you got projects going on or if you think you need something as far as a special size transformer, those kinds of things, they're hard to come by. We're still ordering residential transformers. Bigger size transformers are out 42 to 60-something weeks. Substation transformers right now is out close to 4 years. And, you got a plan, but you also got to know what everybody else is looking to plan.
That's true.
So we can try to meet the needs of our customers the best that we can.
I don't know how you can possibly keep enough of those in there, transformers and things like that in there. As you mentioned, they're harder to come by. I'm sure at some point in the past you could just pick up the phone and order some and they'd come in. But during the last two tornadoes, which we went through two tornadoes in the last couple of months, I personally have seen you lose 3, 4, 5, 6 different transformers just like that. Fortunately, somebody had the foresight to have some extra ones in here in case something like that happened. I don't think you can prepare for everything, and I'm sure you weren't prepared for 2 tornadoes, but you got to be prepared.
Well, you can't be prepared for everything, but we have a lot of contingencies in place. But, when you have storms like that, we're not the only system that gets hit, and you got other systems that get hit just as bad as we do or worse than we do, and they're not just only in the state of Tennessee. They're throughout all the states that served this material and supplies, so. Makes it pretty tough.
And not to mention the fact, I mentioned transformers, but we lost quite a few poles as well, and you're constantly working through pole changes, changing out poles. We actually saw steel poles broken and wooden poles as well. There's nothing you can do but change out the pole and move on, but having enough of those is kind of tough when you're not prepared for that kind of damage.
Right, and what we're trying to do is plan ahead as far as the material, but you just can't get the materials sometimes as quick as you need it. And, talking about poles, when we get one order in, we already got another order to be sure we got some more poles coming in. And we try that with transformers, but you got some transformer manufacturers, when you call and want quotes to get a transformer, they'll tell you we can't quote it. We can't get it to you. Yeah. So, that's what you're dealing with today.
Well, I'm proud somebody's thinking ahead. I'm proud of all those that are working and actually producing these products for us. I know we need more people out there to do that and get caught back up for sure. But anyway, we appreciate what you do. We appreciate what our utilities. Thank you for our customers for all they do for us. And anything else before we go?
I don't have anything else this time.
All right. Britt Dye, our CEO, General Manager here at Fayetteville Public Utilities, has been our guest today. And we'll be back again next month for another program of letting you know what's going on here at Fayetteville Public Utilities.